Cashew nuts are a beloved snack worldwide, known not just for their rich flavor but also for their numerous health benefits. Yet few people truly understand the journey a cashew nut takes before it lands on a store shelf. From remote orchards to high-tech processing facilities, the path of the cashew nut is one of precision, patience, and an intricate balance between manual labor and automation. In this video, we'll take you through the fascinating journey of how millions of cashew nuts are harvested and processed. The cashew tree and its growth cycle. The journey of the cashew nut begins with the cashew tree, a tropical evergreen native to Brazil but now cultivated across Africa, India, Vietnam, and other parts of Asia. Cashew trees grow up to 14 meters in height and flourish in warm climates with sandy or loamy soils. It takes around 3 to 5 years for a cashew tree to mature and start bearing fruit. What makes cashew trees particularly interesting is that their fruit, the cashew apple, is an accessory fruit, and the actual nut is found underneath it. The cashew apple is a fleshy, pear-shaped, bright red or yellow fruit, which is edible and used in beverages in many countries. However, the valuable part is the crescent-shaped nut attached to the bottom. This nut is the real cashew, encased in a hard shell filled with toxic oils. Because of this complexity, harvesting and processing cashew nuts is not as simple as plucking and shelling. Harvesting cashew nuts. Harvesting usually begins when the cashew apples fall naturally to the ground. Unlike other fruits, cashews are not picked directly from the tree because they reach full maturity only after falling. Farmers then gather these fallen fruits daily during the peak harvest season, which varies by country. In India, it typically runs from February to May, while in West Africa it's from March to June. The separation process follows, where workers detach the nut from the apple. Although the apples are discarded or used locally, the nuts are collected in huge volumes, dried under the sun for several days to reduce moisture content and prepare them for storage or further processing. Given that a single tree might only produce a few hundred nuts per season, large-scale cashew plantations, often spanning hundreds of acres, are necessary to yield millions of cashews annually. It's not uncommon to see farms employing hundreds of workers during peak season to ensure timely and efficient harvesting. Drying and storing raw cashew nuts. After harvesting, the raw cashew nuts, RCNs, must be dried thoroughly to avoid mold or spoilage. They are typically spread out in the sun on clean, dry surfaces like concrete yards or mats for 2 to 3 days. This drying process reduces the moisture level of the nut from around 25% to 10%, making it safe for storage and transport. Proper drying is crucial because high moisture content can ruin an entire batch of nuts. Once dried, the nuts are stored in jute sacks or airtight containers and kept in dry, cool warehouses. These raw cashews may be stored for weeks or even months before they are transported to processing units. Often, farmers sell their raw cashew nuts to processors or exporters who handle the next steps of the journey. The complex process of shelling cashew nuts. Shelling is perhaps the most dangerous and delicate step in cashew processing. The cashew shell contains anacardic acid, a caustic oil similar to poison ivy resin. Direct contact can cause severe burns and irritation. Because of this, special care is required in the deshelling process. Traditionally, workers manually cracked each nut using a blade or wooden stick, often risking injury. Today, semi-automated or fully mechanized shelling machines are used in many processing plants to improve safety and efficiency. These machines apply controlled pressure to crack open the shell without damaging the kernel inside. However, even with mechanization, skilled workers are still involved in inspecting and finishing each nut. In many parts of India and Africa, women make up the majority of the workforce in these processing plants, manually sorting and handling the nuts with practiced precision. Roasting or steaming to remove toxic oils. Before shelling, most processors treat raw nuts to make shelling easier and to reduce the risk of burns from the toxic oil. There are 2 main methods: roasting and steaming. Roasting involves heating the nuts in rotary cylinders or open pans at high temperatures. This process hardens the shell and allows the oil to be extracted. Steaming, which is more common in hygienic, modern facilities, involves placing the nuts in a pressurized steam chamber. This softens the shell and neutralizes the toxins, making it easier to crack open. After treatment, the nuts are cooled, and the outer shell becomes brittle enough for mechanical or manual removal. This step is crucial for preserving the integrity of the kernel. Peeling the inner skin, testa. Even after the shell is removed, each cashew kernel is still coated in a thin, brown skin called the testa. This inner layer must be removed to produce the white, edible kernel you see in stores. Peeling is usually done by hand, although some factories use airjet peeling machines. The peeled kernels are sorted into different grades based on size, color, and quality. The grading system is important in determining the market value. Whole white kernels fetch a premium price, while broken or discolored pieces are sold at a discount or used for cooking and industrial purposes. Grading, sorting, and quality control. Grading is a detailed process governed by international standards. The most famous grading system is the W180, W210, W240, W320, and W450 classification, where W stands for white whole and the number denotes the number of nuts per pound. For example, W180 grade is large and considered premium. Workers inspect each kernel for defects, mold, infestation, or discoloration. Sorting is done both manually and with the help of color sorters and digital scanning machines in large factories. This ensures only high-quality cashews are packed for export and sale. Packaging for export and retail. Once sorted and graded, the kernels are vacuum-packed in foil-laminated pouches or tins to retain freshness and prevent moisture contamination. These packets are then placed in cartons, labeled with grade and weight, and sent off to various destinations across the globe. India and Vietnam are two of the largest exporters of processed cashews, shipping thousands of tons annually to markets in the US, Europe, Japan, and the Middle East. Cashews are sold as raw, roasted, salted, flavored, or used in sweets, butter, and cooking. Byproducts and waste management. Interestingly, the cashew industry doesn't waste much. The cashew apple is rich in vitamin C and often used to make juice, vinegar, or fermented alcoholic beverages in places like Goa, India, and Brazil. The cashew shell oil extracted during roasting is used industrially in making paints, varnishes, and brake linings. Even the testa, the inner skin, is sometimes repurposed as animal feed or organic fertilizer. As sustainability becomes a growing concern, many cashew processing units are finding new ways to reduce waste and repurpose byproducts. Challenges faced by cashew farmers and processors. Despite the global popularity of cashews, farmers and workers in this industry face significant challenges. Smallholder farmers often struggle with price volatility, pests, and lack of access to modern equipment. Processing workers, especially in less developed regions, may be exposed to health hazards and earn low wages for labor-intensive work. Labor rights, ethical sourcing, and fair trade are becoming important topics in the global cashew industry. Organizations and governments are working to modernize facilities, ensure safe working conditions, and promote sustainable farming practices. The future of cashew process. The future of cashew farming and processing lies in automation, traceability, and sustainability. With the help of AI-powered grading machines, blockchain-based supply tracking, and eco-friendly roasting methods, the industry is poised for modernization. Countries like Vietnam have already embraced large-scale automation, while India is working toward balancing traditional jobs with mechanization. The global demand for cashew-based snacks, dairy alternatives like cashew milk, and vegan products ensures that the market will only grow. From humble beginnings on tropical farms to carefully shelled and packaged nuts ready for consumption, the journey of the cashew nut is nothing short of fascinating. Harvesting and processing millions of cashew nuts is a massive undertaking that requires a delicate blend of nature, human labor, and modern technology. Next time you enjoy a handful of cashews, take a moment to appreciate the meticulous process behind them. Each nut has passed through the hands of skilled farmers, endured steaming and peeling, and survived the test of quality checks, a true testament to global agricultural craftsmanship.